Hi, I'm Tom Bopp. There's an interesting story that goes along with this next song. The song is called Love's Old Sweet Song. Some people know it as Just a Song at Twilight. And it was published in 1884. And Estella Washburn used to play it on the piano in the piano parlor at the Wawona Hotel back in the 1880s and 1890s when the U.S. cavalry officers would come in and sing along with her. Her granddaughter told me that story. So here's the story. Estella was 17 years old and she came to visit the Wawona Hotel back when it was called Big Tree Station with her dad, who was Thomas Hill, the great landscape artist. And so Tom came here to do paintings of Yosemite and go on pack trips and gallivant around and do plein air painting. So when he was away, he left his cutie pie 17-year-old daughter, Estella, checked into the hotel. They checked into rooms 10 and 11 upstairs in the main building, now 210 and 211, and left her there months on end. They were there for the whole summer of 1882, and she was left to find things to do, keep herself occupied, go horseback riding, swim in the river perhaps, and whatever. And so one of the things she found to do was to fall in love with the manager, who was 43, I think, years old. But that didn't slow either of them down. By the time Thomas Hill came back down out of the hills with his paintings, Estella and John Washburn, the manager, had fallen in love. They got married in 1885, and they moved into the main building of the hotel in that front room that's just off of the piano parlor. That was their bedroom. And the piano parlor was Estella's private parlor. There were folding doors on either of those big doors. And she would open them up and invite guests back in. She had her upright piano on the wall, probably underneath where the painting is now. And she'd play for the guests, not because it was her job, but it's what a lady did. You entertain your guests. And she had a nice low voice and would sing. And this is one of the songs she used to sing. According to her granddaughter, Wawona Washburn Hartwig was her married name. She told me the story about how Estella used to sing this, not only for the guests, but for the cavalry officers who were stationed nearby at what's now the Wawona campground. That was called Camp A.E. Wood. And when they created Yosemite National Park in 1890, they hadn't invented rangers yet. So they brought in the Army, the U.S. cavalry, to police the park, to chase off the sheep herders and lumberers and hunters, that sort of thing. So you can picture that room back. It hasn't changed much. And imagine you're sitting in the piano parlor at the Wawona Hotel, and it's 1892, and Estella's playing the piano, and everybody's very nicely dressed, and the cavalry officers have come over from Camp Wood to have dinner and kind of schmooze with the guests, and of course they love to sing. A lot of them were pretty good singers by some accounts. And they would come in with the rest of the guests in their full dress uniforms, you can just picture them, and sing along with the guests. And here's a song that Wawona Washburn Hartwig told me that her grandmother it was her favorite song. And of course it was, because it was the big hit of 1885, the year that Estella and John got married. And years later, long after Estella didn't play piano anymore, she would still sing it to herself when she was puttering around in the garden or around the house. It's a lovely, rather spiritual song, and it was immensely popular for decades. It starts out talking about the long ago days. I think it refers to Genesis, actually, the second chapter of Genesis in the Old Testament, where they're talking about Adam and Eve and the mist that rose and then fell as rain on the earth for the first time. Anyway, here's the song. nights in the dear dead days beyond recall, when on the world the mist began to fall, out of the dreams that rose in happy throng, lo, in our hearts love sang an old sweet song. Then in the dusk, where fell the firelight gleam, softly it wove itself into our dream. Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love's old song, comes love's old sweet song. Even today we hear love's song of yore. Deep in our hearts it dwells forevermore. Footsteps may falter, weary grow the way, still we can hear it at the close of day. So till the end, when life's dim shadows fall, lo, will be found the sweetest song of all. Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love